All right, Pump Talk Nation, buckle up because the news cycle is spinning faster than ever, and we've got a packed show that you absolutely cannot miss. From heart-stopping moments that shake communities to inspiring resilience in the face of adversity, we're diving deep into the stories that are dominating headlines and shaping our world. Get ready for an adrenaline rush of information, the kind that leaves you wanting more, right here, right now. First up, we're going inside the harrowing experience of a young survivor recounting the terrifying moments of a recent attack, detailing the fear, the chaos, and the incredible bravery that emerged. Then, we pivot to a powerful reflection from someone who has navigated similar darkness, offering a unique perspective on healing and the road ahead for those impacted by recent events. We'll also explore the profound messages being shared between survivors, bridging experiences across time and tragedy. And finally, we're taking a look back at a defining moment in recent history, exploring the lasting impact and the incredible stories of survival that continue to resonate. Don't touch that dial, this is Pump Talk News, and you're getting the unfiltered truth. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. A young survivor's harrowing account. The world watched in shock as a recent incident sent waves of fear through a community, but amidst the chaos, a young voice emerged, sharing an incredibly powerful and personal story of survival. Chloe Francoual, an 11-year-old with remarkable composure, recounted the terrifying moments when her peaceful school day turned into a scene of unimaginable terror. She was attending Mass at Annunciation Catholic Church in Minneapolis for the first time in the school year, a day that was supposed to be filled with excitement and community bonding. Dressed in her school's green polo shirts and navy attire, Chloe, along with her younger buddies from lower grades, was looking forward to a positive experience. The atmosphere was initially one of anticipation, with a new priest delivering a welcoming speech and the congregation joining in song and prayer. However, this sense of normalcy was shattered when whispers of smoke began to circulate. The situation escalated rapidly with the sound of gunshots, initially mistaken for fireworks. Chloe described the chilling progression: one shot, then another causing everyone to cover their ears, followed by a third that prompted everyone to duck. The fourth shot marked a terrifying acceleration as the gunfire became a rapid, relentless barrage. Looking towards the church's stained glass windows, Chloe witnessed a spark, then a hole, realizing with dawning horror that the source of the danger was outside, firing in. Police later recovered a significant number of rounds, indicating the intensity of the assault. As the reality of the situation sank in, children reacted instinctively, some hiding under pews, others behind pillars, and Chloe herself found refuge in a classroom off the main hall. There, she and her fellow students sprang into action, barricading the doors with anything they could find: tables, chairs, even small items like crayon boxes, driven by the desperate need to keep the threat out. The sounds of screaming and frantic efforts to secure their sanctuary filled the air. The chilling finality of another gunshot and the subsequent footsteps initially brought fear, but it was the sound of police that signaled a potential end to the immediate danger. Emerging from their hiding place, met by the smell of smoke, they were led outside to a scene of devastation, with many injured. This deeply personal account has resonated with many, highlighting the profound impact of such events on young minds. The bravery of Chloe and her classmates in trying to protect each other, even with meager resources, has been widely praised. Her father, Vincent Francoual, visibly moved, acknowledged the lasting trauma his daughter and her peers will carry, while expressing immense pride in her strength and empathy. The community is grappling with the loss of two young lives, Fletcher Merkel and Harper Moisky, who were friends and classmates, further underscoring the close-knit nature of the community shattered by this violence. Chloe's reflections on her friend's parents and her own feelings of guilt for not doing more to warn her younger charges speak volumes about her maturity and the emotional toll of the event. Her candid admission that she no longer feels safe in the church, a place meant for sanctuary, and the persistent flashbacks she anticipates paint a stark picture of the long road to recovery for these young survivors. Hold on, the story of resilience doesn't end here. We're about to hear from someone who knows this journey all too well. Next, a survivor from another tragic event shares powerful insights on the path forward for those affected by the Minneapolis shooting. A survivor's message of empathy and endurance. The echoes of the Minneapolis church shooting have resonated deeply across the nation, particularly in communities that have previously endured similar tragedies. Geneva Cunningham, a survivor of the devastating 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, spoke with PumpTalk News affiliate WTNH, offering a poignant and deeply personal perspective on the aftermath of such violence. Having experienced the unimaginable at the tender age of 9, Cunningham understands the profound and often lifelong journey of healing that awaits the young survivors in Minneapolis. She was in the Sandy Hook Library when the shooting began, her class finding refuge in a closet, a moment of terrifying uncertainty where they were given notebooks to write their thoughts and fears. Cunningham described the years following Sandy Hook as a period of emotional numbness, a protective mechanism against overwhelming pain. "I spent a lot of years not being able to feel," she shared, explaining that the trauma had left her feeling stuck. She noted that the path to recovery is unique for each survivor, with some finding solace in speaking out while others remain deeply private about their experiences, yet the specter of violence continues to haunt them all. Every day sounds like a dropped book, a slammed door, or even a raised voice can trigger vivid memories and intense emotions. Cunningham's advice to the victims and their families is to lean on professional support, emphasizing that survivors are not equipped to provide all the answers. "We're surviving this, we're not solving it," she stated, urging the broader community to support those who are trained to address such crises. Reflecting on her own experience, Cunningham expressed a diminishing hope that systemic solutions would prevent future tragedies. "I lose hope every time something like this happens," she admitted, highlighting the pervasive sense of loss and the ongoing search for a sense of wholeness. "They don't tell you that a part of your heart is missing, and you're searching for it all your life." For the children and families affected by the Minneapolis shooting, this difficult search has just begun. Cunningham's insights serve as a stark reminder of the long-term consequences of gun violence and the importance of sustained support for survivors. Her journey from a traumatized child to a young adult advocating for understanding and healing underscores the resilience of the human spirit. Her message to the current generation of survivors is one of shared experience and the arduous, yet possible, path toward reclaiming a sense of peace. The parallels between Sandy Hook and the Minneapolis incident underscore a disturbing pattern, prompting renewed calls for action and reflection on how society supports those impacted by mass violence. The emotional toll, as described by Cunningham, is not a temporary state, but a deeply ingrained part of life for survivors, requiring patience, empathy, and comprehensive care. But the conversation doesn't stop with reflection. It extends to shared messages of hope and solidarity. Next, we hear directly from a young survivor offering comfort and a message of resilience. A bridge of shared trauma and hope. In the wake of the Minneapolis school shooting, a powerful connection has been forged between survivors of different tragedies, highlighting the enduring impact of gun violence and the universal human need for empathy and support. Geneva Cunningham, who as a 9-year-old endured the horrors of the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre in 2012, has extended a message of solidarity and understanding to the children affected by the recent events at Annunciation Catholic Church. Her words carry the weight of personal experience, offering a unique perspective on navigating the aftermath of such profound trauma. Cunningham's own journey since Sandy Hook has been one of immense resilience. She has spoken about the years of emotional detachment she experienced, a coping mechanism against the overwhelming pain, and the lingering effects that still surface in everyday life. Her candidness about the ongoing struggle, the way sudden noises can trigger memories, the feeling of a missing piece of oneself, resonates deeply with the experiences of those who have recently faced similar horrors. The news also touches upon other significant events and societal shifts, such as the increasing use of protective measures like bulletproof shields in schools, reflecting a society grappling with pervasive safety concerns. It also briefly mentions unrelated news items, including the apprehension of illegal immigrants working as firefighters, a financial scandal involving a baseball interpreter, and the ongoing recovery and commemoration of Hurricane Katrina's devastation 20 years later, alongside political tensions and international fugitive cases. However, the core narrative remains focused on the human impact of violence and the efforts to process and heal. A fifth-grade student's account of comforting a preschooler during the Minneapolis shooting and details from Hennepin EMS Chief Martin Shearer about heroic actions, including a child shielding another student and teachers prioritizing safety, further illustrate the courage and compassion that emerge in the face of crisis. These individual acts of bravery, alongside Cunningham's broader message, weave a tapestry of resilience. Cunningham's perspective, shaped by surviving one of the nation's most notorious school shootings, serves as a beacon for those newly thrust into a similar reality. Her message is one of shared struggle, the long road ahead, and the importance of community and professional support in the healing process. It underscores that while the pain is immense, survival and recovery are possible, and that no one has to face it alone. This intersection of survivor narratives and acts of immediate bravery in Minneapolis underscores a critical societal need to acknowledge the long-term psychological impact of gun violence and to provide consistent, compassionate support systems. Cunningham's voice, carrying the wisdom of years of healing, offers a vital perspective on what the journey ahead might entail for the young survivors in Minneapolis, emphasizing that healing is not a destination, but an ongoing process. Looking back at moments of profound national impact, we find stories of survival that continue to inspire. Next, we delve into a personal account from the aftermath of a devastating natural disaster. A survivor's enduring spirit through disaster. 20 years after Hurricane Katrina ravaged the Gulf Coast, the stories of resilience and survival continue to emerge, offering profound insights into the human capacity to endure and rebuild. Atlias Bell, who was just 7 years old when the storm hit, vividly recalls the harrowing experience of seeking refuge in the New Orleans Superdome. His memories paint a stark picture of the initial chaos: the roof tearing open, rain pouring in, and the oppressive heat that made even the air feel heavy. His family, like thousands of others, found themselves in the Superdome, a temporary sanctuary that soon became a symbol of the storm's overwhelming impact. Bell remembers the constant presence of helicopters overhead, a lifeline for those trapped by the rising waters. The desperation was palpable as they waited for evacuation, a process made even more agonizing when his grandmother collapsed. Faced with the agonizing decision of leaving her behind to keep the line moving, the family's resolve was tested. Miraculously, his grandmother later made it to Texas, reuniting with the family who had been bused to Dallas. The journey continued to Des Moines, Iowa, where Bell and his siblings found a new sense of home, embraced by a community that nurtured them. He acknowledges the immense support received, with friends becoming like a second family and even accompanying him back to New Orleans. Despite the loss and the lingering fear of weather that persisted for years, Bell considers his family fortunate, especially when compared to the estimated 1,800 lives lost and the $125 billion in damages caused by Katrina. He reflects on the ongoing recovery of New Orleans, a city still healing 2 decades later. Bell's personal journey has led him to remain in Iowa, finding a sense of belonging that rivals his birthplace. Yet he maintains a deep pride in his New Orleans roots, describing the city as a magical place. His perspective is one of acceptance and faith, believing that everything happens for a reason. A sentiment echoed by his mother who, in 2015, told PumpTalk News that their displacement was a divine redirection. This enduring spirit, shaped by tragedy and sustained by community, offers a powerful testament to the resilience of those affected by natural disasters. Bell's narrative, like many others from Hurricane Katrina, highlights the dual nature of survival: the deep scars left by trauma and the remarkable strength found in family, community, and hope. His story serves as a reminder of the long-term consequences of such events and the importance of continued support for affected regions and individuals. From surviving storms to navigating the aftermath of violence, these stories remind us of our shared humanity. Stay with us as we wrap up today's Essential Updates. That's a wrap on today's Essential Updates. We've covered a young survivor's incredible account of a recent attack, heard from a Sandy Hook survivor on the long road to healing, explored messages of solidarity between trauma survivors, and looked back at the enduring spirit of Hurricane Katrina survivors. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this information valuable. Subscribe for more in-depth news, ring the notification bell to stay updated, drop a comment with your thoughts, and follow us on all our social media platforms for more Pump Talk news.